Hi everyone, Leanne here from Jaded Blossom, and I have another Christmas card to share with you today. Hey there, so I am using the Triangle Square matte dies again, Christmas dies 2, Reindeer Droppings, and Mini Tags dies 3. And I'm also using Christmas Cheer and My Favorite Christmas from Echo Park. So I went ahead and I made the triangle square background. You'll notice I didn't cover up one little spot there, but not to worry, it'll be covered up soon. So what I'm making is I'm going to make a flat shaker card. Now I watched Amy Savvy from Prairie Paper and Ink make one of these in one of her videos, and I thought I can do that. I'm gonna make one of those things. So I'm just using packaging from some stickers actually. And I'm taking that packaging and I cut it to just over the size of this square. You'll notice that the paper that I have used on this is that the dark green border is American Crafts cardstock, and then the other pattern paper is from the Christmas Cheer and My Favorite Christmas. And then there's Nina Desert Storm 80-pound cardstock for a couple of the triangles. So now I am taking score tape and I'm applying it to the edge of the back of this entire background. And I'm just going to flatten it down with my Teflon bone folder, make sure the glue is stuck really well so I can peel off the release paper. And I'm going to peel off the 3 sides. And then what I'm making is I'm making a pocket. So I'm going to put my card front flat down on it and I'm going to fold in the edges. So I'm going to stick them down and then I'm going to fold up the next one. Or I'll fold the other side, and then I'll fold up the bottom. And then what I do is I'll trim off the corner. So I'll just sort of pinch it up and trim it off. There we go, and make sure it's stuck well into the tape so none of my shaker bits can come out. There we go, and now we're just trimming off that extra. There we are. And now that is my pouch. So I'm quickly going to add in, this is called Classic Christmas Fusion. And then I'm adding sequins. Now I'm adding in Cartwright's Moonlight sequins, sparkling clear sequins, I think they're called. Those are in a 3mm, and then I'm going to use the larger, what's the other size? Sorry guys, 8mm size. And I'm just going to add them to my package. Now I'm taking off the little score tape release paper. I'm going to stick it down. So easy, easy stuff. Now I'll just trim off. You'll see how the corners are sticking up. I'll just trim those off. And then there you have it. A super fast and easy card front and a super fast and easy shaker. I think I'm going to make a few more of these because they're lots of fun. So there we go. So they shake really nicely. They're quite flat. Now I've got a piece of Pure Poppy paper tray ink cardstock cut at 4 1/4 by 8 1/2, and I'm scoring it at 4 1/4. So you get a perfectly square 4 1/4 inch card that will fit in an A2 sized envelope. And now I've got 3 of the deers from that, what's it called? Christmas Dies 2 set from Jaded Blossom. And I cut them out of American Crafts cardstock that has a little bit of texture, brown cardstock. And I'm gluing them together, just stacking them with my art glitter glue. And then I will pop an acrylic block on there just to make sure it's stuck really well. And then I will add my next layer on. And, you know, easy stuff. This has a nice little tiny needle tip. These are just little bottles that I got from Amazon that I put my glue in. And there we go. And I'm just going to add the next layer, make sure everything's all lined up. And easy stuff. So basically, because your background is so busy, you really don't need a lot on the front of your card for interest, because you've got a lot of interest going on. So what I did was I went ahead and I cut out the flag die from that Mini Tags Dies 3, the smallest one, and I cut it out using that same Pure Poppy cardstock. And I'm going to go ahead, I'm applying anti-static powder tool, sweeping it off with my tonic kind of sweeper brush, and I'm going to stamp down, I'm just using some purple tape to hold it in place there, and I'm going to stamp down a sentiment from that stamp set, Reindeer Droppings. And what it says is Rudolph Kisses. So I'm using Ink on 3's Juicy Ink to stamp onto this flag die here. There we go. And because I'm only using one side of it, I decide I don't really like the look of that stamping, so I'm going to stamp it on the other side. So you can do that. It's not a big deal. So I'm just going to re-stamp it on the other side because I'm just cutting once, I'm cutting it in half anyway, so there we are. So I'm just going to stamp it again with Ink on 3's Juicy Ink. And then I'm going to use Reindeer's Fine Detail White Embossing Powder to coat my sentiment just over a coffee filter. There we go. So there's it. There's the Reindeer White Embossing Powder. And I'm just going to pour it over top. And then I will use my Marvy Heat tool to melt the powder. So I just want to make sure I've got good coverage, make sure there isn't any extra powder on there. I'll fix that up before I melt it. And then I will quickly melt this with my Marvy Heat tool. My favorite thing to do is melting embossing powder. I've said that before in videos. I love it. There we go. I just think it's so fun. And I like how it pops on the red. It just looks great. So now I'm going to quickly stick down my deer onto this tag. So I'm just going to use some score tape on the back just so I can quickly stick it down onto that sentiment and know where I'm cutting it off. So I'm just going to sort of fit it in where it looks best. And then I'm going to grab my scissors. I think they're the big Tim Holtz shears. There we go. And I'm just going to cut off the edge. And there we have it. So a super quick and easy thing. So now I'm adding score tape to the back of my deer, just because I want it to stick to that plastic. And, you know, plastic is slippery and glue will stick if you weight it down for long enough. That's not a problem, but I thought I'm going to use some score tape and make sure that sucker is down there. I will use a little bit of extra glue. I'll be using glossy accents. If I can get the paper, if I can get the backings off these, I'll have some glossy accents on there. There we are. Just have it in another one of those little bottles. I'm just going to put a few dabs on the antlers, and just to make sure things are going to stick down. When this dries, it dries clear and shiny, so you won't notice it too much on the acetate, but you don't want to have it glooping out all over the place. So, you know, you just want to have minimal amount. So there we go. I'm just getting it in place, and that's covering up that little piece of background that I kind of messed up. No one will know. There we go. And now I have my reindeer with Rudolph Kisses. So now I'm taking Recollections enamel dot. I don't know if they're called enamel dots, but that's where they're from anyway. And I'm just taking the smallest one. I'm going to pop that on its nose like it's Rudolph. I added a little droplet of glossy accents just to make sure it stays there just in case. I've never had one fall off, but you never know. There we go. Now I'm going to be adding a 4-inch square piece of Nina Desert Storm cardstock to the inside of my card, just for somewhere to write. And then I have a few scraps from that Christmas cheer pad from Echo Park left that I've just cut with little tails, just by hand. I'm going to add those down, just for a little interest. I'm trying to finish off that pad, and it's basically done, you know, which is nice. There we go. I'm going to trim that off. Those are EK Success scissors there. I'm going to take my VersaFine Clair Nocturne ink now, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to stamp the sentiment Deary Christmas on the inside. And that's from the same stamp set, or called Reindeer Droppings. So I'm just going to quickly stamp that. And there you go. How cute is that? So Deary Christmas. So it says Rudolph Kisses and then Deary Christmas on the inside. And look how it shakes. So thank you so much for stopping by, everyone. Be sure to hop on over to the Jaded Blossom store and maybe get your hands on some of these products. And like I said, thanks for stopping by, and hopefully we'll see you soon in my next video. Bye, everyone.